looks so upset.
Wendy's.
I don't trust you.
For a couple of days, one of my really best friends was like, hey, you like being an animal so much, why don't you eat off of the floor and the ground?
No.
And then it turned into 2 days of me like not speaking.
No.
And I just ate like literal cat food and like drank out of a bowl.
How'd that make you feel?
Good.
Why?
Because I got head pats.
So as you're using the main shaft of it, you're
I've met that guy.
Smaller tentacles on the base.
I've met him before. He's pretty cool.
Butter and garlic. Like butter, and there's like little bits of garlic on there. Oh, wait, let me feed you. Let me feed you. Oh, I wanna feed you. Fine.
No.
All right, sorry. I had to take care of something. What'd I miss?
What?
Nothing at all, Beta. Nothing at all.
Seriously? Damn. Sad boys.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
I did manage to put something together, and I haven't shown it yet, but I will show it, or rather have you guys listen to it, because it's just so... First off, let me just say this. When I put this together, there is no disrespect to the voice actor or voice actors behind this character, okay? Especially knowing that the voice that I decided to have this specific the voice that I had this specific text play off of was the soldier from TF2. So again, no disrespect to the soldier's voice actor, to his work, to his legacy.
I like you deeply as a friend, and I'm going to choose not to even respond to that. Inflates you, making you big and round.
It's so good! It's so good! I like you deeply as a friend, so I will choose not to respond to that. Inflates you, making you big and round. Make it the raid alert. So I'm gonna be honest, if we're turning this into a sort of like, is Fundy a furry video? Like, I don't know. I mean, it can be taken several different ways. Not in terms of Fundy being a furry, but in terms of like, the whole like, are they related to the whole furry hobby thing? Which again, I've done a video on that entire concept. I think there was also that other portion of it that I didn't talk about. And what I mean by this are the individuals that I personally believe take advantage of the furry fandom and sort of the community behind it to in turn gain a bigger audience because they're hinting at being a furry, or they might have some interest in being in the furry fandom. And I think that just goes for anyone. Like, the furry fandom is still considered a taboo hobby on the internet. So when you have someone that could be it, don't you think people would take more of an interest in looking at that person just a bit further? Don't you think people would stop to take a look or to analyze if this person is a furry? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know who the fuck Fundy was was until people said that they were a furry or might have been a furry. Same thing, surprisingly, with Jack's film, who did the whole wearing a Garfield costume at their award ceremony thing. It's just, it makes sense, you know? It's a marketing scheme in some sense, even if they don't intend for it to be. It's a hell of a thing to market, that someone could potentially be a furry who is a big content creator. Because not only are you bringing in the furry audience who's like, oh, we finally have representation, or we have more people that are actually like us, but you actually have the people that are looking at it and are like, is he a furry? And then they start paying attention to their content a bit closer. So like, does that sort of create a new category of people that aren't furries but actually do in some sense take advantage of that community for clout? I don't know. Are they necessarily doing it for the marketing ploy? I don't know either. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what motives are and what people end up doing. But I think that's a solid point to go off of or to think of. I think I saw it on Neon Wolf's post about it. Let me actually bring it up because Neon goes over a bunch of things. He tweeted out saying like, it's okay, just say you're a furry and move on. And that's the thing. People just like, to some point I kind of agree with that, but to some point I don't, with the whole thing of like applying labels and all that. Like in the end, like I said, we both have the common interest of Nick Wilde. Just join us and appreciate him like we appreciate him. It's okay. But at the same time, like, some people might not want that because of the stereotypes and because of the, I guess, backlash that comes with being a furry. I don't know. The bad attention that comes from it. This post, or this reply, I had trouble reading it at first, but like, it actually very much relates to the point that I guess is trying to be made, or at least that I made about this. Content creators and influencers dance around and tease being furry or furry adjacent so often for the clout, and it's always more insufferable and cringy than if they just joined the fandom. That is true. That is absolutely true. And that's, I think, the point that I was trying to make, that just like, hey, you know, it's sort of a marketing ploy. I get that whole thing. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I think that's a very valid point to pay attention to with regards to people that miraculously have some interest in furries immediately. I think it is very valid to take into consideration that some content creators could very well show an interest in furries for the sake of the clout that comes from it, or for the meme to in turn attract an audience, and isn't necessarily a bad thing. Kind of, but not really. I don't know. This is just intricacies of the furry fandom, okay? Oh yeah, I forgot to change the image. It's got to be a new image every time. Hold on. What other images do we have that we can replace the little man that kind of looks a bit like Jonah Hill? Crop GIF? I mean, if I do that, I'll get called out on Twitter. We could let's do this. Easy. Oh, Jesus, that's bigger than I thought. Yeah, you can just zoom in on my face as I'm reacting to this, and this is all out of context. Oh, Jesus, that's bigger than I thought. You know what? Let's just go with the original. I want it facing this way. That's perfect. Now that we have everything perfectly set up, we can officially start, even though we should have started, I don't know, 5 minutes as soon as we hit record. Here's my face. Yo. You stare away at this face, okay? You enjoy it. You better enjoy it. You better not leave. Also, yes, I do, I guess, have a goatee, facial hair, mustache, beard. I don't really know. I'm just like, look, it all started with a mental breakdown that lasted 2 weeks long at the start of me moving into my apartment. And then 2 weeks later, I finally realized, oh, I should probably shave this. Yeah, fuck it. Let's see where this goes. Sweet Caroline. There you go. Best karaoke session with Beta. Actually, that kind of hurt my hand now that I'm ow. Inflate yourself big and round? Exactly. Inflate yourself making you big and round. I was on Tiger's stream earlier today, and he was talking about, like, you know, how the climate change is so fucked, and we're so fucked, like, as a planet and everything. And he was like, instead of using cars, actually I can't say that. Actually, I can say that, but I won't say it. Instead of cars, he suggested something else. What I suggested instead is, what if instead of cars, we were all giving life jackets that we can overinflate to be big and round, and we just roll around? Like, physically roll around instead of using cars. What if that's the new method of transportation? Can someone make that an art piece, by the way? Totally need to do that. You need furry art to make the house look cool. Exactly. See, here's the thing. If you've looked around my room, there is a severe lack of furry art besides the badges in the back and maybe the War Greymon thing. But other than that, there really isn't anything. And I'm going to have a bigger room than this. So I got to start hanging up shit everywhere. So I got to find some good furry art to frame and hang up, which I do have a couple. One that Birthday Bunny did for me. One that another friend did for me that I have to print out and hang up. A couple of others that I have to burn because they were originally made by Lucky Coyote, which is a yikes. So I got to use that for like a bonfire or something. And then another art piece that a friend made for me that I have to frame and hang up. Oh, yikes. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm going to casually say it because that's the case of it. Like, oh, yeah, I have that art that Lucky doodled for me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and burn that. Okay, a little bit of a story time, by the way, because I went sort of surfing at one point. Not really surfing, but bodyboarding at a beach. This is a beach in Rhode Island, couple 10 plus years ago. And I was bodyboarding because the waves were going. It was pretty fun. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having a good time. And I went headfirst into a dead jellyfish. Luckily, I only touched its stinger with my ear. But other than that, I was fine. But just... I don't know why that I decided to tell that story. There's nothing good about what happened there. But it's just like, oh yeah, I'm bodyboarding. I can't control where I'm going. This is great. Oh, there's a jellyfish in front of me. Because I know that if there's a plastic bag floating in the ocean, it's not a plastic bag, okay? Were you okay? Did you die? I died. It's whatever, but, just, it happens to everyone.